The early Muslims' migration to Abyssinia, now modern-day Ethiopia, stands as a profound narrative of faith, resilience, and quest for sanctuary amidst persecution. This journey, often overshadowed by the later migration to Medina, holds significant spiritual and historical importance in Islamic tradition. It is a tale that resonates deeply with themes of religious tolerance, sanctuary, and the interplay of diverse faiths under a common pursuit of justice and understanding. In the year 615 CE, when the Meccan polytheists intensified their torment against Muhammad's followers, the nascent Muslim community faced a crucial decision. The Prophet Muhammad, recognizing the escalating dangers, directed some of his followers to seek refuge under the just Christian king of Abyssinia, known as Negus Ashama ibn Abjar. This directive was not merely a strategic move for safety, but also a profound demonstration of interfaith, trust, and respect. The significance of this migration lies not only in its historical context, but also in its demonstration of the early Muslims' commitment to their faith under duress. It is a vivid reminder of the trials that faith communities have endured and navigated through the corridors of history. The story of Abyssinia encapsulates a pivotal moment where faith, politics, and human rights intersect, offering a rich narrative ripe for reflection and learning. The holy city of Mecca in the 7th century was a bustling center of trade and religion, dominated by powerful tribes whose wealth and status were intricately tied to the polytheistic rituals centered around the Kaaba. Muhammad's monotheistic preachings, proclaiming the worship of one God, posed a stark threat to the tribal leaders and their religious traditions. This new faith challenged not only their spiritual beliefs, but also the socio-economic structure of Meccan society. As the number of Muhammad's followers grew, so did the hostility they faced. The early Muslims were subjected to scorn, social ostracism, and increasingly violent persecution. Their steadfast refusal to renounce their faith only fueled further aggression from the Meccan elites. The situation reached a critical point, where the physical safety and spiritual persistence of Muhammad's followers became untenable in Mecca. This escalating persecution necessitated a search for a sanctuary where the Muslims could practice their faith freely, without fear of oppression. Muhammad's strategy to seek refuge in Abyssinia was propelled by his knowledge of King Negus's reputed justice and fairness, irrespective of religious affiliations. This decision marked a significant turning point in the history of Islam, emphasizing the necessity of a safe haven for the preservation and continuation of faith. The decision to migrate was fraught with risk and uncertainty. The early Muslims, numbering about 100 men and women, undertook the arduous journey across harsh terrains to reach the Kingdom of Abyssinia. This journey was not just a physical relocation, but a profound act of faith, entrusting their lives to a foreign ruler in a land unknown. Their departure was secretive, undertaken in small groups to avoid attracting attention, which underscored the perilous nature of their situation. Upon reaching Abyssinia, the Muslim refugees were not immediately secure. The Meccan leaders, determined to retrieve the defectors, sent emissaries to Negus, laden with gifts, with the intent to persuade him to extradite the Muslims back to Mecca. This diplomatic maneuver placed the Muslim refugees in a precarious position, highlighting the fragility of their quest for safety. The Muslims' arrival in Abyssinia, therefore, set the stage for a significant intercultural and interfaith encounter. It was here in the court of King Negus where the true test of their faith and the Abyssinian king's justice would unfold. The Abyssinian court scene was a dramatic and pivotal episode in the history of the early Muslim community. As the Meccan emissaries presented their case against the Muslims, claiming they were dangerous renegades who had forsaken their tribal religion, the tension in King Negus's court was palpable.
The future of the Muslim refugees hung in the balance, dependent on the judgment of a foreign king whose decision could either offer sanctuary or spell doom.
Jafar ibn Abi Talib, cousin of Muhammad and spokesperson for the Muslim refugees, stood before King Negus to defend their faith and their decision to seek refuge. His speech, eloquent and poignant, not only articulated the beliefs of the Muslims, but also highlighted the persecution they had endured in Mecca.
Jafar's recitation from the Quran about Mary and Jesus deeply resonated with the Christian king, bridging a connection through shared reverence and spiritual commonality.
Negus's reaction to Jafar's speech was a defining moment. Moved by the parallels between Christian and Islamic teachings, he famously declared that the difference between Christians and Muslims was as insignificant as the line he drew on the ground with his staff.
This declaration not only secured the Muslims' stay in Abyssinia, but also marked a significant moment of religious recognition and tolerance. The Muslims were allowed to live in Abyssinia with dignity and freedom, a testament to Negus's fairness and the power of faith-driven dialogue. The migration to Abyssinia is often contemplated within Islamic tradition as a profound lesson in faith and reliance on God's guidance. The Quranic revelations during this period served as both solace and instruction, reinforcing the moral and spiritual ethos of the Muslim community under trial. These scriptures underscored the themes of patience, perseverance, and the ultimate reliance on divine will, which fortified the resolve of the early Muslims. This episode also emphasizes the role of faith in transcending geographical and cultural boundaries. The interaction between the Muslim refugees and the Christian king of Abyssinia is a testament to the universal values of justice, empathy, and the pursuit of truth. These values, deeply embedded in both Christian and Islamic teachings, facilitated a mutual respect and understanding that transcended the superficial differences of creed. Moreover, the experience in Abyssinia highlights the spiritual kinship and common ground that can exist between different religious communities. This event in Islamic history serves as a reminder of the potential for interfaith harmony and the importance of protecting the vulnerable. It encourages contemporary societies to reflect on the spiritual dimensions of justice and the role of faith in fostering societal peace and coexistence. King Negus of Abyssinia played a pivotal role in the story of the Muslim migration. His character and decisions exemplify the virtues of wisdom and justice, qualities that are highly esteemed in both Christian and Islamic traditions.
When confronted with the choice between siding with the powerful Meccan delegates or protecting a persecuted minority, Negus opted for a path that affirmed his commitment to fairness and religious tolerance. The king's approach to the situation was marked by a willingness to listen and an openness to understanding the beliefs of the Muslim refugees.
This disposition is crucial in any leadership role, particularly when it involves making judgments that affect the lives of diverse groups. His decision to question both parties and seek the truth before making a judgment was indicative of his just and thoughtful rulership. Negus's refusal to bow to diplomatic pressure and his ultimate recognition of the common spiritual bonds between Christianity and Islam set a historical precedent for interfaith respect and mutual protection. His actions not only provided immediate protection to the Muslim refugees, but also established a legacy of ethical governance and the acknowledgement of shared human dignity across religious lines.